What did Trump say?
As President of the United States, I will always support Jewish Americans, and I will always be a friend and a champion to the Jewish people. I have been.
Imagine if Trump said this about Muslims. If he said, I've always been a champion of the Muslims. I've always been a champion of Muslim people. What's the reception going to be? Is it going to be positive, or are they going to say we're being infiltrated? Or are they going to say terrorism? Or are they going to say that we should put America first? We should be Christian first. He says this about Jews, and everybody cheers.
And I will say, if you go back 10, 12, 15 years ago at the most, the strongest lobby in Washington was the Jewish lobby.
There you go. I won. I was right. I told you. I say this, I get canceled. Trump says this, he gets an applause. The difference is he's taking almost $1 billion from this lobby. In the words of the sitting American president, the strongest, most powerful lobby in America is the Jewish lobby. Remember this. It's no longer anti-Semitic. It's coming from the sitting president. Next time we talk about who's in charge, what's really destroying America, who's really in control, where the money's going, listen to the president.
It was Israel. That's no longer true. You have to be very careful. You have a Congress in particular which is becoming anti-Semitic.
You're talking about
You have
Ilhan
AOC
Omar.
+3. You have those people. Ilhan Omar. She hates Jewish people. And you have to be very careful.
I'll say to Ilhan Omar, you're not helping out Muslims at all. Sometimes I think that she might be a plant in order to bring a bad reputation on Muslims and make people think that it's all anti-white, anti-Semitic, anti-America sentiment. Ilhan Omar, if she really is Muslim, just stop doing what you're doing because it's not working at all. All you're doing is making people hate us more. You're doing a horrible, horrible job. So it's either you're a plant or you're just an idiot.
Careful, because there's been a big change. If you go back 15 years ago, I'm not Jewish, but my father was very friendly with many, many Jewish people, was honored by Federation. I would go with him to Federation of Jewish Philanthropies and many other things. And we grew up respecting and loving Jewish people. You don't even think about it. In Brooklyn and Queens mostly. And my father didn't go to Manhattan. He never went to Manhattan from the standpoint. He could never understand how in Brooklyn you could buy a piece of land for $3 a foot and how in Manhattan you had to pay $1,000 a foot. He said, I can't get that. I don't like it.
A lot of people don't know Trump's backstory. So Trump's father was a huge real estate mogul, mostly in Brooklyn and Queens, and is responsible for expanding a lot of those boroughs. So once Trump became an adult, he's like, how do I one-up my dad? Because Trump's father was, a lot of that Trump empire was Trump's dad. So obviously the son needs to expand and needs to improve upon his father. Trump was all Manhattan, the Trump Tower in Wall Street, all the buildings on the Upper East Side. Manhattan was Trump's borough. Brooklyn and Queens was his father's.
I'd like to buy it for $3. So it was different. It's a different thinking. In a way, I'm glad he didn't do that because he let me have some of that fun. And I had a lot of fun in Manhattan. We did great. But my father would tell me the most powerful lobby that there is in this country is the Jewish lobby.
There you go. There you go. If you ever doubted it, listen to the president. 4K.
It's the Israeli lobby. It's not that way anymore. You have a lot of people in your way. You have a lot of people.
Then who is it? So if it's not that, if it was true when Trump's dad was in charge, then who is it now? Is really Ilhan Omar? Is that the one who's stopping it?
Don't want to help Israel. You have a lot of people in Congress that don't like Israel. You have a lot of people in Congress that, in a way, I think.
And why would they? Why would they? And I think maybe a white pill, even though the world will be destroyed and the Antichrist will come and all this stuff, and inevitably 90% of the world there will be destruction, and then Jesus returns. But maybe a white pill before then is that Gen X supports Israel about 20% less than the boomers do. The boomers dick suck Israel and they will till they die. Gen Z and Gen Alpha, the support for Israel is about like 8%. It's almost nothing. Charlie Kirk was very scared of that fact. The new generation, none of us support Israel. So as we elect more people, as more people come into office, things could change. Things probably will change. This undying allegiance to this country in the Middle East with a different religion, different culture, they won't have the same power that they once had.
doing an amazing job, Michael. They hate Israel. They hate Israel. And if you would have told me 15 years ago that that was possible, Jason, I would have said, there's no way. There's no way that's possible. But it's happening. And obviously it's getting progressively worse. Less so in the Senate, but the Senate's starting also. You get glimmers. You know, when I'm in the back rooms talking to people, you get glimmers of statements that you say, whoa, where did that come from? So we have to be, Sid, we have to be very careful because bad things are happening. And then you see what goes on in Australia. Or October 7th. How about October 7th? And then you have people that deny it ever happened. How about the people that deny, like they deny the Holocaust, but, you know, you figure, well, that's just many years. Well, October...
Yeah, all the time they say, deny the Holocaust, but these people all denied the genocide going on in Gaza for the past over 2 years. They get on this moral high ground, and even then, there's people in the White House, they roll up their sleeve and they're like, look at the codes. Look at that. I was a Holocaust survivor. It's like, when I was a kid, I remember... in 5th grade, they brought in Holocaust survivors and they were 95 years old. And it was like, these are the last Holocaust survivors out there because this happened in the 40s and the 30s. And you're like, yeah, that's so long ago. And now I'm 27, I'm almost 30 years old. And still you see Holocaust survivors come out of nowhere. It's like, how are you still alive? How are there still, and they look like they're like 80 years old. They look the same age as Trump, but they were adults and they remember the Holocaust. How was that even possible? Where did they keep coming from? But they come in and they look at this. But they get on this high ground about denying the Holocaust, even though it happened almost 100 years ago. But the Holocaust that was happening and that still is technically happening right now, they all deny. So it's not really about death. It's not really about genocide. It's not about the loss of life. It's about what political agenda the Holocaust serves. Does it serve theirs? Or does it serve another one? Do they actually care about life? Or are they trying to push a narrative? Are they trying to serve their masters?
7th is not many years at all. And you have people that deny October. I saw tape that I wish I never saw it, actually. I wish I never saw it. I got to see tape that some of you got to see. But as president, I got to see things I wish I never saw. But there's no denying it. But then they'll say, oh, the tape was a rigged tape. It was a tape that never existed. They made it up. It's just propaganda. I don't know if they believe...
just like the Epstein Island. Was that all propaganda? Was that done by the Russians? Was that just made up too? What about that? What about the fact that you were best friends with Jeffrey Epstein? Was that all made up? Was that horrible? Did that make your stomach turn? Because Trump, hearing about Epstein's Island for the first time, that made America's stomach turn. That made all of us gasp. That made us horrified. And then we found out that you were best friends with this guy. And then we found out if we criticize this and if we want to figure out who was on this island, you don't want their support. You don't want our support. If we want to figure out what happened here, you alienated everybody who was appalled by what happened on Epstein's Island.
But I don't think they believe it. But you have to be very, very careful. Bad things are happening, and we're not going to let that happen. While I'm president and the DOJ and Harmeet, we're not going to let it happen. But please be vigilant and careful, because you have some bad people that are now in Congress that were unthinkable to be in Congress 12, 13.
You know what even becomes more obvious too?
Manhattan. He never went to Manhattan.
I want to play this again and respond to Hassan Abi.
$3 a foot, and how in Manhattan you had to pay $1,000 a foot.
Someone clip this about Hassan.
Different thinking. In a way, I'm glad he didn't do that, because he let me have some of that fun. But my father would tell me the most powerful lobby that there is in this country.
Listen, Hassan.
Is the Jewish lobby.
Hassan, there you go. You say it's all about Zionists. You say it's all about imperialism and capitalism, and you refuse to acknowledge the simple fact that even the president is saying the most powerful lobby in America was the Jewish lobby. Not Israeli, not Zionist, not imperialist, not capitalist. You can put on your fucking Chairman Mao outfit and parade around and say that, oh, Sneako denies the Holocaust. No, I don't, dumbass. You went to the Streamy Awards wearing a Chairman Mao outfit. That guy killed 60 million people. Are you a Chinese genocide denier, or are you celebrating it because you're trying to LARP as him? You fucking idiot. He's not saying Israeli. He's saying the strongest lobby is the Jewish lobby. This is that fact that you like to act like you're better and holier than thou. Holocaust denier. My family came from the Holocaust. My name is a fake name. My last name, my first name is Nikola. My last name is fake because they came from the Holocaust. My grandfather, his whole family was wiped out in Europe after the Holocaust and during the Holocaust. He moved to Haiti and married a black woman. Then you get my father. My father marries a Filipino woman, you get me. My name comes from that. It's all, we figured it out. It's not real. Obviously, the Holocaust happened, but it happened almost 100 years ago. Let's talk about what's happening today. What is benefiting the Jewish lobby? What is the Holocaust going on right now? What is happening in Gaza? Where's our tax dollars going to? What party does Catholic J.D. Vance have during Hanukkah? Who is paying all of Trump's campaign? Who's bribing him on stage? Miriam Adelson puts his arm around Trump. Mark Levin puts his arm around Trump and says he's the best Jewish president. He's not saying Israeli president. He's saying Trump is the best Jewish president. You can't ignore this fact. Zionism does not exist without Judaism. That doesn't make you anti-Semitic to say it's true. Moving on. Puka got a touchdown. Congrats. What does Hasanabi think about this? Okay, and also for everybody, all these people, all these frauds on Twitter that talk about the Islamification of America, all these frauds saying that America is a Christian country, everyone that says that we need to put America first, says that there's too many immigrants, there's too many different cultures coming in. What about this in the White House? Is this what you want? I don't see any pushback from these frauds. They say, oh my God, look at Dearborn, Michigan, you fucking idiot. Look at the White House. Dearborn, Michigan, oh my, they're praying in Times Square. They're asserting dominance in Times Square by praying. The difference is Muslims in New York, what do they make up? 8% of the population in New York City. They pray in Times Square. Look at what's happening during Hanukkah in the White House. What's asserting dominance? Praying on a sidewalk or doing this ritual in the White House with the president right here? Are they going to do this about Eid? You think there's going to be an Eid celebration? Absolutely not. Both are wrong. What is this whataboutism? Look, people are going to... America now, what is it? 50, 60% white Christian. The rest, there's a lot of immigrants here. To get upset about Muslims praying in the street is retarded. That's what happens when there's a lot of people. They're going to pray in the street. It's legally... This is what's allowed. The White House is supposed to be a place where we have separation of church and state, idiot. It's not the same thing. If we have separation of church and state, then this would not be a ceremony in the White House. A giant menorah here.
The USS Liberty
all these people, all these donors to Israel, and the president being part of the celebration. If there was separation of church and state, this would never exist. Church and state is different than church and a sidewalk. Get it through your head. Nina Lynn has been permanently banned on Twitch. Angela, Nina, I've never seen this many likes on a permanently banned post. I've had a lot of these posts in my career. 90K likes on your head top, 91 now. It just went up. 8.6 million views. Permanently banned. And I did hear, actually, and I mean, look, was it deserved? Sure. She's shoplifting on stream. She was sexually assaulting men. It took long enough. I'm still permanently banned on Twitch, and nobody even knows why. Off-platform behavior. I'm permanently banned. Nobody knows why. And I heard from somebody, I'm not going to say names, but after the Streaming Awards, somebody I know met with Dan Clancy. They had a private meeting, and they told me before the meeting that they were going to talk about my ban. And they said to Dan Clancy, hey, why is Sneako still banned on Twitch? He, it's off-platform behavior. You still have Nina Lynn on your platform, and she's sexually assaulting and stealing. Why is Sneako banned? Dan Clancy just laughed. He just laughed it off. So... it would be nice to be unbanned on Twitch, but I'm not going to get on my knees and beg. And oftentimes I see people from the Love Speech community say, oh, Sneako's confused why he's banned. I'm not confused why. I know, I know exactly why I'm banned. It's because I speak truth to power. I speak I speak in a way that they can't trust will be a good goy slave for their agenda. I piss off too many people in their offices and also too many of their higher up streamers. The face of their streamers, the face of their platform like Hassan and Pokemon, they get too upset. It causes too many issues for them. It causes them too much of a headache. That's essentially what it is. I'm not confused by it, but I'll talk about this because it calls out a really obvious double standard. It calls out clear hypocrisy. So it's unfortunate to see that. If Dan Clancy wants to speak about this, I'm open to have a conversation about it. I don't think it's funny. I think it's a scam. But I'm open to speak to him about this if he's willing to, because stuff like this is getting horrendous for Twitch's for Twitch's whole identity, especially now that Twitch, Dan Clancy, you're taking gambling ads now. Your whole thing was being on a moral high ground. You're better than Kick for not promoting gambling. Now you have gambling ads. Really? This is what separated you, and now you folded like that. You pretended to be better than people like Aiden for so long, and now look, you're in the same boat. Lionel Messi. Did you see this? Lionel Messi just went to India, and I said this is why Ronaldo will forever be the GOAT. Why? Is that a cow mooing, or what is that?
जटाटवी गलज्जल प्रवाह पावितस्थले कलेवलम्ब्य लम्बितां भुजङ्गतुङ्गमालिकान्तमड्ड
Ronaldo's forever the GOAT. Ronaldo would never do some shit.
मड्डमड्डमन्निनादवड्डमर्वयं चकार चण्डताण्डवं तनोतु नः शिव शिव.
Also, Messi's a Christian man doing this. This is next level. This is worse than kissing the wall, bro. It's worse than doing that wall thing where like, every single politician needs to. All these Christian politicians put on the yarmulke and kiss a wall in the Middle East. Okay, so let's look this up. So Messi is chanting Omaha and offering milk to Shivling. Who is Shivling? This is a Hindu god. So Hindus have infinite gods pretty much. Let's see, what is he offering milk to? Shivling is an abstract representation of Shiva. Okay, it's Shiva. Symbolizing his infinite formless nature, cosmic energy in the union. So he's offering milk to Shiva. Messi is literally giving a milk sacrifice to the Hindu god Shiva. Anybody know more about Shiva? What is Shiva the god of? Known as the god of destruction and transformation, a key part of divine trinity. Yeah, this is a false god. A multiple arm god. Doesn't the multiple arm doesn't Huh, this looks very similar to Malak. Is that the one? What's the one where they put the hand up and down? Oh no, Baal, right? Yes, yeah, this is Baal. This is Baal, the demonic god of sacrifice. And so you see the picture where they put one hand up, one hand down with two fingers. This is what Messi is sacrificing milk to. Look up Shivling, it's a dick. Oh, the Baphomet, not Baal. Hold on. Oh, yes, you're right. Hey, Messi. Messi. Yeah, you got a World Cup. You might have got a World Cup for now. But Ronaldo is not offering milk to the Baphomet. It's literally the same. Same mark on the forehead, hand positioning, stance, center. Yeah, wow. And the breasts. Shivling is a penis? So you guys are saying, I don't see that here. It looks like this. Anyway, I don't really want to see a Hindu penis, not going to lie. But, yeah, I tweeted this first, and this went crazy on Twitter. I said, this is almost worse than kissing the wall. And they got really upset. A lot of Indians got really upset. I looked at and they were saying, oh, he's respecting cultures. No.
Will you ever go back to regular content? Or will all your content now be just hating on all religions
no, this is
that
going
are
to be the
not
content
Islam?
forever. So just leave now because this is my content, you fucking idiot. This is my content, so you might just go watch somebody else, faggot. This I saw people criticize. People got really upset, and people seem to be on my side about this. Like, this is kind of ridiculous. And like, no, Messi's just respecting Indian culture. No, my criticism is not that he's respecting Indian culture. It's that he's selling out for money. It's like, for everybody getting mad at me for making fun of this, saying it's worse than kissing the wall, it's because Messi clearly got paid to do this, idiot. Messi's not doing this. Do you think Messi's doing this for free? Do you think that he's giving milk to the Baphomet? You think he's doing these sacrifices and putting on the red dot because he respects Indian culture, or was he paid a shit ton of money by Indians? He went there and he did a tour. He went there for one day and dipped. He didn't even play a game. What did he play? He went on the field for 20 minutes, kicked around a couple balls, put his head on the thing, and then left. He got paid millions of dollars. It's the fact that he's selling out his own religion, Christianity, to go and worship a Hindu god, some random deity, a PR stunt to get accepted by Indians, to make a lot because he signed a deal. He sold his soul. This is not his faith. He doesn't believe in this. It's a humiliation ritual that he's getting compensated for. Ronaldo's the GOAT because he would never do this. Let's look at the Muslims taking over America. The White House. Separation of church and state. See, look, the rabbis who are doing this, they're kind of flexing because they know that it's going to be bad PR on their part. They know it's not really going to help the cause when people say that Jews control America, or they say Jews have the most powerful lobby. They're flexing. They're like, look at me in the White House wrapping up this white man. Look at me all the way in the most powerful building in the world, wrapping up this white man, and you're not going to do anything about it. I don't care that that puts a bad reputation and creates conspiracy theories. I'm going to do it anyway. Just to flex, just to show you who's boss. Incredible. And Muslims control America, right? Alex Jones. Message to Alex Jones, who keeps saying the Islamification of America. Oh, they're turning the frogs gay. They're turning the White House Jewish, Alex Jones. They're turning the White House all day long, talking about how Muslims are invading, even though it's like 1-2% of the population. Look at the White House, Alex. What's going on here? JD Vance is a Catholic like you, right? Aren't you Catholic? He's throwing a Hanukkah party. Trump just went on stage and said that he's Jewish next to Mark Levin. Mark Levin put like a good boy, wrapped around, hey, gave him a swirly and said, good boy, take more of our money and support our country. Is it Muslims that are invading America? Is it Muslims that have control? Come on, man. I thought you were the conspiracy guy. I thought you were the truth teller. Here's the Miriam Adelson clip that I keep talking about.
And now I met Alan Dershowitz, and he said the legal thing.
Okay, hold on a second. So for context for people that don't know, Alan Dershowitz is Epstein's lawyer. I hope you guys know that.
And now I met Alan Dershowitz.
And this is Miriam Adelson. Back in 2015, Donald Trump was criticizing Marco Rubio for being a sellout for taking money from Miriam Adelson's son, the other Adelson. Look at him 10 years later, like a good boy, on stage, right next to his mother, taking $250 million. Not only that, she's shouting out Dershowitz. Trump is getting criticized for going on Epstein's island, allegedly. And Miriam Adelson's right here shouting out the lawyer of Epstein. I understand lawyers take jobs and they're not always morally consistent with them, but being Epstein's lawyer is defending him legally, Jeffrey Epstein. It gets to a point where that's as bad as being Jeffrey Epstein.
He said the legal thing about 4 more years.
And look, to Alex Jones and all these people that say that there's too many foreigners, Miriam Adelson is an Israeli-American donor. She doesn't even look at her, listen to her accent.
Legal thing about
she sounds like she created Krav Maga. This is not what an American sounds like. And look at her right next to the American president. She sounds as Israeli as it comes. And she's the one pulling the strings. She's the boss. She's in charge of this good boy.
4 more years. And I said, Alan, I agree with you. So We can do it. Think about it. and
Alan's
I
here
would be-
someplace. Where's Alan?
Alan is here.
Where's Alan? Where's Alan? Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer.
Oh, he had a flight. Alan is here.
And they're chanting 4 more years. 4 more years. Which is against the Constitution. A president is only supposed to serve 2 terms.
Think about it.
Thank you.
Maybe I will be the first one to tell you or second. Yeah,
She said,
She
think,
sounds like Adam Sandler's parody of what an Israeli sounds like.
yeah.
she said, think about it. I'll give you another 250. But
Okay, she's offering to bribe him, and he's joking about it while shouting out Epstein's lawyer. This is the state of our country. If you didn't know yet, and you thought I was talking about it too much, you thought I was beating a dead horse. We have never been more occupied. We have never been more infiltrated. She doesn't sound American. She's not American. Epstein, that is nothing Christian about that. Doesn't get more anti-American and anti-drain the swamp than Epstein's Island. And they're on stage laughing and joking about it, taking $250 million bribes to defy the Constitution. This is our country right now. Think about that next time you talk about Muslims ruining this country.
I will give.
but her husband, Sheldon, was an amazing guy.
And now I met Alan Dershowitz, and he said the legal thing about
I shouted out Moist Critical for this. So the U.S. House passed legislation to criminalize transgender surgeries, hormones, and treatments for minors. Moist Critical. I won. Moist Critical. I know you wanted, I remember in your debate.
The bill is passed without objection. The motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
No transgender surgeries for minors.
Hey Sneako,
Remember that debate?
I'm reaching out on behalf on a youth development directive on the East Coast.
Okay,
I've
I
tried
don't care
Discord
about
and
your
email.
thing. I don't
I
care.
was wondering what the best place would
In that debate, and I was banned on YouTube at the time, I was debating Moist Critical. It was our second debate. And I asked him, do you support transgender surgeries for minors? Moist Critical said yes. Looks like you lost. The House said no. No surgeries for minors. So although they're having a happy Hanukkah surgery and they're bragging about betraying the Constitution, a little bit over a year later, we won. We won. So, too bad for you. You can hold that L, Moist Critical. It's no beef. If you want to talk again, we didn't have our yearly debate. It's too bad. 23, 24. I guess 25 we missed it. Maybe in 26 or maybe never again. You started adopting my talking points about Netanyahu. Turns out I wasn't a crazy conspiracy theorist anti-Semite. Turns out I wasn't a transphobe either. You lost. Kids can't cut their dicks off. I know you wanted kids to cut their dicks off and you thought it was okay. Most people don't think it's okay. Not only that, hormones, HRT, testosterone, TRT for children, absolute no-go. We want to protect our children. So. But that's a perfect example of Moist Critical following the crowd. Obviously, he doesn't want kids to cut their dicks off. Obviously, Moist Critical doesn't want kids to take hormones. But he thought that that was the popular opinion. When he found out it wasn't after the clips from the debate went up because he was too chicken to post the full debate when I wasn't on YouTube, he realized that actually, no, this isn't the popular opinion. People are overwhelmingly against kids cutting their dicks off. And so he backtracked. He said, oh, I didn't know. I was tricked. I was trapped. No, Moist. No. You thought you were saying what everybody was going to agree with, and you found out the wrong way that was false. I think you owe me not only an apology for being wrong about Netanyahu, but another apology for being wrong about minors and the transgender surgeries. They should not be allowed. Protect the children. And don't just follow the crowd. Don't just look at the trending page and try to make your opinions follow that. That doesn't make you a political commentator. That doesn't even make you a commentator. It makes you a grifter. It makes you full of shit. It makes you somebody who's just trying to get some YouTube AdSense. Oh, it turned off donations. Well, you said everything else because you thought that it was going to get you on the trending page on YouTube. Turns out you were wrong here. Say what you believe, because deep in your heart, you know that that's wrong.